The last cup of coffee. Marcus Chen stood at the counter of the downtown cafe, counting crumpled dollar bills with trembling fingers. $3.47. Not enough for the medium coffee he needed to stay alert through his double shift. His daughter's medication had cost more than expected this month, and every penny was already allocated to something essential. He swallowed his pride and asked for a small black coffee instead, avoiding the barista's sympathetic eyes. The cafe was one of those trendy places he never would have entered in his previous life, but it was on his route between jobs, and they had a bathroom he could use to change from his construction clothes into his restaurant uniform. As he waited for his coffee, Marcus caught his reflection in the polished chrome of the espresso machine. At 34, he looked a decade older. The lines around his eyes told stories of sleepless nights, worry, and the constant mathematics of poverty. He turned to find a seat in the corner where he could change quickly, and that's when he saw her. 17 years collapsed in an instant. Victoria Santos sat by the window, bathed in afternoon light, her dark hair shorter now but still falling in that same way that had once made his heart stop. She was typing on a laptop, completely absorbed, wearing an elegant navy suit that probably cost more than his monthly rent. For a moment, Marcus forgot to breathe. She looked up. Their eyes met, and the world seemed to tilt. Recognition flashed across her face, followed by something he couldn't quite read. Surprise? Discomfort? He watched her expression shift through several emotions before settling on something that looked like careful composure. Marcus? Her voice was exactly as he remembered, though steadier now, more confident. Victoria. His own voice came out rougher than intended. Wow. It's been 17 years. She stood, and he noticed the Cartier watch, the designer handbag, the subtle glow of success that seemed to emanate from her. I can't believe it's really you. They stood there in awkward silence, two people who had once known every corner of each other's souls, now strangers bridged only by memory. The barista called out his order, breaking the spell. Marcus grabbed his small coffee, suddenly hyper-aware of his paint-stained boots and the hole in his jacket sleeve. Do you have time to sit? Victoria asked, gesturing to her table. There was something in her voice, a softness that reminded him of the girl who had cried in his arms the night they decided to break up so she could accept that scholarship to Stanford. Marcus glanced at his phone. He had 45 minutes before his restaurant shift. Sure. Just for a few minutes. They sat, and the silence stretched between them like a canyon. Victoria's laptop screen showed a Bloomberg article with her photo. The headline read, Victoria Santos, CEO of Novatech Solutions, named Tech Innovator of the Year. Marcus's stomach tightened. He'd known she would succeed. Victoria had always been brilliant, but seeing the concrete evidence of just how far she'd climbed while he'd fallen made something inside him crumble. So, she said gently, tell me about your life. Are you married? Kids? Marcus took a sip of his coffee, buying time. The truth felt like failure. I have a daughter. Emma. She's 6. He pulled out his phone to show Victoria a photo, his hands shaking slightly. In the picture, Emma grinned gap-toothed, wearing the princess costume he'd found at a thrift store. She was his entire world, his reason for waking up every morning at 5 and not stopping until midnight. She's beautiful, Victoria said, and there was genuine warmth in her voice. She has your eyes. Her mother died when she was 2. Cancer. The words still felt like broken glass in his throat. She was a good person. We weren't married, but she was my best friend. When she got sick, I promised I'd take care of Emma no matter what. Victoria's hand moved across the table, stopping just short of touching his. Marcus, I'm so sorry. He nodded, unable to speak for a moment. What about you? Clearly, you've done incredibly well. I saw the article. A shadow crossed her face, quick but noticeable. Yes, it's been successful. We develop AI solutions for healthcare systems. The company just hit a valuation of $2 billion. She said it matter-of-factly, but Marcus heard something underneath. Loneliness? Exhaustion? That's amazing, Victoria. Really? You always said you'd change the world. Did I? She smiled sadly. I remember being so sure of everything back then. Now I run a company with 800 employees and I'm not sure of anything. She paused, studying him with those dark eyes that still saw too much. You're working construction. He could have lied, but what was the point? Construction during the day, restaurant at night. Sometimes I drive for a rideshare service on weekends. Emma has juvenile arthritis. The medication is expensive, and my insurance. He trailed off, not wanting to burden her with details. We manage. You're raising her alone while working multiple jobs? Victoria's voice cracked slightly. Marcus, I can't imagine how hard that must be. You do what you have to do for your kids. He checked his phone again. 30 minutes. I should probably get going soon. I need to change before my shift. Wait. Victoria reached across the table, this time actually touching his hand. Her fingers were warm. Would you let me help? I know that sounds presumptuous, but... No. The word came out harder than he intended. Marcus pulled his hand back, old pride flaring. I appreciate it, but we're fine. I take care of my daughter. I didn't mean to insult you. Victoria looked stricken. I just thought. I know what you thought. Marcus stood, grabbing his backpack. You thought the same thing everyone thinks when they see a single dad working 3 jobs. That we're charity cases. That we need saving. But Emma and I are doing okay. We have each other, and that's what matters. He turned to leave, his coffee forgotten on the table. He made it 3 steps before Victoria's voice stopped him. I was married. Her words came out in a rush. For 5 years, to a man who seemed perfect on paper. Harvard MBA, came from money, understood the business world. On our first anniversary, he told me he'd married me for the connections my company could provide. By our second anniversary, I'd lost a pregnancy and he said it was probably for the best since a baby would damage my figure and hurt the company image. I divorced him 3 years ago and I've been alone ever since because I don't know how to trust anyone anymore. So please don't assume I'm looking down on you, Marcus. I'm looking at you with respect because you're doing something I never could. You're putting someone else first, completely and selflessly, and that's something my billions of dollars can't buy. Marcus turned back slowly. Victoria had tears streaming down her face, though she was trying to hide them. The cafe had gone quiet, other patrons pretending not to listen while absolutely listening. He walked back to the table and sat down. I'm sorry. That was unfair of me. No, it wasn't. She wiped her eyes with a napkin. I came off as some rich person trying to throw money at a problem. But Marcus, I wasn't trying to. I just hate seeing you struggle when I have so much. Especially when... She stopped. When what? When I've never stopped thinking about you. The words hung in the air between them, honest and raw. I know that's not fair to say. I know we made our choices 17 years ago and we can't go back. But sitting here, seeing you again, I realize that every relationship I've had has been measured against what we had. And none of them have even come close. Marcus felt his chest tighten. Victoria. I'm not asking for anything, she continued quickly. I just needed you to know. And I want you to know that if you ever need anything, not charity, but maybe just someone to talk to, or someone who remembers who you were before life got so heavy, I'm here. He looked at this woman who had been his first everything. First love, first heartbreak, first person who made him believe he could be